What's up, guys? It's Mitch from Time to Time RC, and I've got something to sort of unbox and review today, and it's the Spektrum Dx2e receiver and remote. This is the box. It's got the Go Fast Dx2e, shows the remote on the front, and then on the back it shows you the top of the remote up here, what it does, and then the receiver. The receiver, I can't really show it to you guys because it's already in my car. So, but this is it. It's a 2-channel receiver, so it has the the throttle slot, the steering slot, and then the bind plug. So that's it. It's one of the larger receivers, so it's kind of big. Might not fit in all vehicles, but I'll open it up, show you guys the remote. I'll grab the bind plug out of it. I've already opened it, so yeah, I'm not going to do full unboxing. Oh yeah, one more thing is it's about $60 anywhere, but I bought mine at my local hobby store at Cutting Edge Hobbies, but you can buy it pretty much at any hobby store. They have them, or most of them that sell Spektrum remotes will probably have it because it's the cheapest Spektrum remote that they sell. And it's like the most just like regular one, just simple remote. So this is the remote, and this is the bind plug, and the receiver is in my car, which is over my slash, which is over there. So the little bit about the receiver first is the connector. I don't know what these connectors are called, but the connectors that are attached to servos and ESCs that go into receivers. The Traxxas ones have a kind of a little bit of a problem fitting into Spektrum receivers, and that's because their connector has a plastic edge that comes out a little bit further. That is just a slot. That's just a little piece of plastic that helps guide the connector, which I just dropped, into the Traxxas receivers, because they've got like a little slot or groove cut out, so it kind of fits in perfectly. And so to fit the Traxxas connectors into a Spektrum remote or a receiver, you have to cut it off or take a piece of sandpaper and sand it down, but it's not that big of a problem. So again, this is the bind plug. This is so if you get a different remote that you want to connect the receiver to, you can bind it to that remote instead of this one, if that's how you buy it, or any other ones. So a little bit about the remote is it only comes in this black color. It is the Dx2e, like I said before. It feels really nice in the hand. It's got a nice rubber grip on it, so it feels good. The steering wheel doesn't have that bad of a bounce, so it's like a good feel for the steering wheel. It has a little bit. It's got a little bit of too much. It's got a little bit of overspring in it, I think. Just a little bit too much to play, or not play, but a little hard to turn it if your hands are tired or something, or if you're going for a really long race, or you have a LiPo and it's just going to run for a long time. You wouldn't really use this to race. But I just think the spring is a little bit much, which that's preference. But the remote, the steering wheel is plastic. It doesn't have a foam grip on it, so it's all plastic. And then up front you have the steering rate. This dial right here is the steering rate. This up here is the throttle trim and the steering trim. And then up top you have your throttle and steering reversing. So if you want the opposite of your motion, like if you pull it to go forward, you reverse it and it'll go backwards instead of forwards. But yeah, so it's just the reversing. And then their Spektrum, I guess, uses the same mold for a lot of their radios because if you notice back here, it's got where an on-off switch would be in the Spektrum Dx2e, but on the Dx2e and the Dx2e, it is right here on the side next to your trims. And you notice a screen light, which means there's batteries in it, and if your batteries are running low, it'll blink. The batteries tray, it holds 4 AA's, so kind of standard. It'll last you a good time. Can't get this back in. So that'll last you a pretty good while. The antenna's short, it's a 2.4 gigahertz remote, so it's gonna last. So it's not gonna interfere. You don't have to worry about the fencing swords that come out 6 feet. So the grips come off. You can notice that you can pull the grips off, or if you want a bigger grip or a smaller grip, you can order them through Spektrum. And I think that's about it. There's a bind. The bind button is up here. So if you get if you have another car and you want to buy another receiver and put it in another car, you take the bind plug that I showed you and bind it to the other car, so you can use this remote for multiple cars. And let's see what else. The range on it, I'm trying to put the grip back. The range on it's really nice. My street that I run my cars on is probably 140 to 160 meters, and somewhere in between there. So it's a pretty long distance. And it gets down the street and back with no ease. It's perfect response. There's no lag to it. So it goes as far as I need it to do. I think that the remote is ranged for a quarter to a half mile, somewhere in there, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it's gonna get you as far as you need it to go. To me, it's a decent remote. And the trigger has a little bit of a soft spring in it, which is funny because I think this has a little bit. The steering wheel has too much spring, and the trigger has a little bit too less of a spring. It's not strong enough to my liking, but it's a nice, comfortable pull, and it's not awkward or anything. So it's something that I have to get used to, but I think it's gonna work out all right. The design of the remote is like a oval type shape, and it's just really comfortable to hold. I mean, I got it, and even though I didn't have my car running, I was holding it for an hour just because I thought it felt good. So that's about it. And one more thing, I don't know if this is how it was supposed to be designed or anything, but I think it's kind of cool that you see this slant on it, and you can just kind of set it down, and so it won't knock over. If you have it sitting up, you might knock it over or something. So it sits down like that, and it doesn't wobble or anything. It's just a solid base. So if that's how you want to keep your remote or something, I think it's pretty neat. I don't know what else to say about it. The receiver, again, it's 2-channel, so if you have like a trail truck with a winch or something on it, it's not the remote for you, because it literally does throttle, so front and back, your throttle, and your steering going left to right. And that's it. And then it's got an extra slot for a bind plug, but that won't work for anything else. So it's gonna work. This will really only work for cars, touring cars, or just like an off-road thing. It's not gonna work for rock crawler, or if you have lights or something. It's not gonna work with anything like that. So it's got to be pretty basic. You better want to just go forward and backward and turn. So if you want like a drift car with lights on it, it's not going to work, or a trophy truck or short course truck with lights on it, it's not going to work. You can't really add anything extra to it. So, but if you don't care about that, then it's a great remote. I personally really like the remote. If you get it, I doubt there's going to be any complaints with it, because Spektrum's a pretty good company. They've got a high success rate, and their remotes are quality remotes. So, all in all, I love it. And I think that if you guys got it, it would not be a bad thing either. So if you have a remote that's broken or just want to upgrade remotes, this is it, because the response time on it is a lot better than the Traxxas one that comes with it. So that comes with any Traxxas model, and I say that because I have a slash 4-wheel drive, or 4x4, so, slash 4x4. I don't know if I said that, but so all in all, I like it. It's gonna be anything that I get that's what I'm gonna use. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys subscribe. I'm gonna have a lot more in the future. So stay tuned and goodbye.